I want to start this talk by taking a look at some pictures of pregnancy. This is an iconic image of Demi Moore taken by Annie Leibovitz for Vanity Fair magazine in August of 1991. This picture was pivotal in making us believe that a mother's body shouldn't be hidden from view. Moore's pregnant pose has been replicated many, many times over the last 20 years. It was Cindy Crawford for W in 1999, and Brooke Shields for Vogue in 2003. We saw Britney Spears for Harper's Bazaar in 2006, followed by Christina Aguilera for Marie Claire in 2008. And who could forget Claudia Schiffer for Vogue in 2010? And more recently, we saw Jessica Simpson on the cover of Elle in 2012. When it comes to pregnancy, pictures of celebrities exist as part of a continual global narrative of pictures in the media about how to do pregnancy well. Naked pregnant portraits embody the ethos of the yummy mummy, a woman who was empowered by her ability to look glamorous and slender during pregnancy, and then squeeze into size 6 jeans just a couple of weeks after giving birth. Now, as a sociologist, I've been studying pregnancy for nearly a decade, but my thinking about these pictures came together when I was writing a book called Making Postmodern Mothers: Pregnant Embodiment, Baby Bumps, and Body Image. Now, these photos had me wondering, how do everyday women feel about these pictures? Do they feel anger, sadness, or are they just indifferent? Where does feminism fit into this baby bump culture? How had feminism's legacy become so distorted that a photograph of a celebrity wearing stilettos during pregnancy had suddenly become a symbol of liberation? Drawing on more than 200 interviews with women across Australia, my book is based on the theory that these pregnant celebrity portraits don't tell us the whole story of pregnancy. Rather, they tell us a very specific story of pregnancy that we like to hear. And so this is what led me to my most recent study here in Hobart. Now, this study was based on this idea that there is a gap between the ways in which pregnancy is represented in the media and the way that pregnancy is experienced by everyday Australian women. So, in 2011, I asked a question that no other sociologist had asked before. How would everyday women represent their experiences of pregnancy if they were given a digital camera? So to answer this question, I drew on a method called photo voice. Photo voice is a qualitative, participatory, and visual approach to doing social research. So basically, I just gave a group of women in Hobart digital cameras. I asked them to take photographs of whatever they felt best represented their experiences of pregnancy. That I interviewed them about the photos that they took over a period of about a year. The final stage of the project involved the women in selecting their most favorite or the most significant photos to display in a community exhibition. So, 2 years and nearly 2,000 photographs later, what did I learn? Well, one of the strongest messages to come out of these women's photographs was their strong fear of gaining weight. After all, in the last 10 years, we've seen entire industries built around encouraging women to maintain slenderness while they're pregnant. We've got pregnancy fitness magazines, maternity exercise classes. We even have t-shirts that are made specifically for those women who are terrified that someone will mistake them for fat instead of pregnant in those early weeks. But we have seen the repercussions of gaining weight most strongly when it comes to celebrities. When Jessica Simpson was pregnant for the first time a few years ago, nearly 100 newspaper articles were written devoted to the size of her body. More recently, Kim Kardashian has been on the receiving end of absolutely nasty comments about the size of her body. At one point, an internet meme was circulating that compared her to a killer whale. So, as you can see, given this context, up until about 16 weeks gestation, The women in my study were extremely nervous. They were extremely upset about the changes that were happening to their bodies. Lisa took this photo because she felt like she had let herself go, because her trousers would no longer zip up. Jenny took this photo because she hated the size of her breasts. As she said to me, "They just make me feel so uncomfortable." Christine took this photo because she said she'd just become unrecognizable. Like a mushroom, she was just bland and boring. But then there was Jenny, who weighed herself every day. But by mid-pregnancy, the photographs that the women were taking started to change. As they started to look more visibly pregnant, they enjoyed taking photographs of themselves. And the photographs are really interesting because they tend to show the women as they saw themselves. And I really like these photos because they're unconventional. They show the women's bellies from different angles. And they seem to be just a bit about self-discovery and just having a bit of fun. But as pregnancy progressed, the women also used their photos to say that those mundane tasks in daily life were just becoming more difficult, whether it was trying to fit their bodies between two parked cars or touching their toes with ease. And some women also talked about feelings of becoming a public spectacle. So Joan took this photo because she said, "Everyone talks about the size of my belly. No one looks at my face anymore. It's like I've become a walking incubator." But as women started to grow anxious in those final weeks of pregnancy, they were just waiting for the birth, and they photographed clocks, tick-tock, tick-tock, to express their impatience. So they passed the time by reading their books about birth, as they dealt with their competing anxieties about how they were going to lose that baby weight. Ever since Heidi Klum strutted the catwalk just 6 weeks after giving birth to her third child, it's almost like losing weight postnatally has become a competitive sport. And the pictures that the women in my group took really grappled with that culture of postnatal weight loss. And actually, the pictures that they took pose really interesting questions. I mean, how is it that celebrities like Beyonce lose their baby weight so quickly? I surely couldn't just be yoga and Pilates like they always say. How would their bodies look after birth? Would they get stretch marks? But in the end, their babies were born. Some in hospital, some at home. But for one woman, one of the most exciting things about no longer being pregnant was finally getting to enjoy a well-deserved glass of red wine. Now, post-birth, all of the women told me that their bodies felt unfamiliar, or they said, "It just feels not me." And they all worried that they would never be able to bounce back to that pre-pregnancy shape. They hated not being able to wear their normal clothes. Judy even photographed her closet to show just how reduced her wardrobe had become. They hated wearing track pants and slippers, day in and day out. And their photos also document their struggles with the cost of child rearing and their worries about becoming a good mother. But the thing is that the women did not just document their struggles or their anxieties during pregnancy. Their photographs also give us solutions. For instance, women use their photographs to say that they want more funding for maternal and child health care centers in Tasmania, those critical spaces that are devoted to the well-being of mothers and babies. They want us to know that they want more support for breastfeeding and that they don't want to be made to feel like failures if things don't go to plan. They want to have more comfortable and clean spaces to feed their babies in Hobart CBD, like this space in a local shopping center. They want us to know that all births are an achievement for women, even when they happen in unexpected ways. They want us to know that the choices that women make during birth are never easy. Sometimes electing to have a cesarean is really no choice at all. And most importantly, they want us to know that not every pregnancy ends in a live birth. So how can photographs lead to social change in our community when it comes to pregnancy? Photographs make a real connection to people, and these kind of photographs are essential if we're going to improve maternal health care for the future. For instance, photographs can help doctors and midwives understand more closely the kind of struggles that women are facing when they're pregnant, and they can come up with more effective solutions in helping them improve their body image. Photographs are also important in assessing which women might be at risk for developing postnatal depression. Photographs can also equip our local policymakers with narrative-driven policy and program recommendations. Now, when I started this project, I had no idea whether it would work. I had no idea what kind of photographs I would get. But when I ended this project, I ended with not just a collection of photographs, but photographs that tell women's stories of pregnancy. My research shows the power of photography in illuminating those issues and experiences in pregnancy that are normally hidden from view. Rather than obsessing over what celebrity portraits can tell us about what it's like to be a mom in the new millennium, let's shift our focus to those pictures of track pants, of barren wardrobes, of self-portraits in the bathroom mirror.